these are the 5 mistakes I made when I first learned Adobe InDesign. Okay, so 5 mistakes I made when I first learned Adobe InDesign. So one of the main mistakes I made, which kind of ruined my life and gave me a big headache, and which I see all the time in all my students when I teach live courses, is that people forget to go back to the selection tool. So always go back to the selection tool. And I'll give you an example of what I mean. So what is very common is we draw a rectangle, the rectangle tool. We just go click and drag, and then we draw another one. And then what happens is I want to change my rectangle. I want to resize it. I want to move it. I want to delete it. But I forget to go back to the selection tool. And whilst I'm still on the rectangle tool, the only thing I can do is draw rectangles. So if I try to move this, which students do all the time, all I do is end up creating new rectangles, which is really frustrating. Whoa. So if that happens, do not worry, do not panic. All you have to do is either use your best friend, which is a shortcut undo, Control Z or Command Z for Macs, or edit undo. And another option would be to go to the selection tool and just select it and delete. So I'll repeat again what I'm saying. So as soon as I draw, let's say I go to the rectangle tool, which is the frame for images, and I decide actually I want to make it bigger or longer. So what I do is once I'm done with drawing it, I go back to the selection tool. And now I can expand it, delete it, move it around. So as a default setting, I always go back to the selection tool. Another common mistake that happens all the time is that I draw something and I forget that I'm on print preview. So the shortcut for print preview is W, on and off. And if you go to view, screen mode, you can see preview. That's the other way of selecting print preview. But the thing is, once you're on print preview, what happens is you can see the document, how it will actually look like when it's printed. So all those lines that you see here are guides, which won't show up in your printed document or PDF. They will only show up in InDesign. And sometimes I like to go on print preview because it's pretty. And I want to see what my beautiful document looks like with all these ugly guides. So let's go to print preview and I'll show you what I mean. So let's say I forgot to go back to working mode and I'm on print preview and I don't see all these ugly guides. That's fine. But the moment I go, let's say, to the rectangle frame tool and I draw a frame, but the frame doesn't have a fill and it doesn't have a stroke. And I go to the selection tool and I do a bunch of stuff and I deselect it. My rectangle will disappear, or so I think. And let's say I go and draw another one. And again, I go back to the selection tool and deselect. And oh my God, my rectangle disappeared. So it didn't disappear. It's just empty. And it's on print preview, which means that I can't actually see it. It won't show up on my page. So if I go back to view, screen mode, and go back to normal or W, I can see that my frames are actually there and they never disappeared. They were just empty. No fill, no stroke, and they were on print preview. So number 2 was I was always on print preview instead of working mode. Okay, now a third mistake that I kept on making is I kept selecting the image or content instead of the frame. Example, here you have a bunch of images, and let's say I would like to move this image to that page. So what the mistake is that I kept doing is that I kept clicking here. Now this button is called the content grabber, which means that it will select only the content, only the image. So let's say I want to move this there. So what I kept on doing is selecting this content grabber and then moving that image without the frame. And whoops, my frame disappeared, my image disappeared, and I got really frustrated over and over and over again. I did it with another image. And again, super frustrated. What is going on? It's all a mess. But do not worry. Use your best friend, Command or Control Z, which is a shortcut for undo, and just put everything back into place. Just bear in mind that you know your content is selected when it has this orangey brownie border. So now let me show you what to do if you actually want to move an image with its frame. So all you have to do is just avoid this button in the middle and click on anywhere else inside that image, click and move. And there we go. So remember, you avoid the button in the middle, the content grabber, you click anywhere else, and then you can move it. Great. Now, another similar mistake is that instead of selecting, I double click. Now, when you double click inside a frame that has an image, it will also select the content grabber, the content. So do not double click. And always, once you've clicked and it's selected the content inside the image and you don't want that, just make sure to deselect it. Because again, if you forget to deselect and you just move things around and you're like, whoa, another mistake, you undo and you deselect and no harm done. All good. A fourth mistake that I always made is that I actually forgot to use the bleed line. Now, for those of you that don't know what the bleed line is, the bleed line is basically this red line here that you see. It's an allowance of usually 3 millimeters. That's the industry standard. And basically what it is you're meant to align your graphics or your borders to that line. And then you tick a box that says include bleed marks when you save it as a PDF. And then your PDF will include these bleed marks. And then when you send these to the printers, they'll know where to trim the PDF. They'll know when to trim the border so that the image goes right up to the edge of the page. Because basically what they do is printers will print it on a larger piece of paper and then trim it down accordingly. Trim the 3 millimeters down. And so you have this beautiful edge completely aligned. So remember, when you create a document, you go to File, New Document, and you would add a bleed. And like I said, the industry standard is usually 3 millimeters. And then you would click on Create. And there is our beautiful little bleed, the red line. When you press W, it disappears. And then if, let's say, I want to add an image that covers the whole page and I would like to get it bled, so I want it to bleed out over the page and I want it printed, and I'm going to send this to the printers, what I would do is go to the rectangle frame tool, because this is where we place images in, and I would cover my whole page up until the red line. This is how you do it. And so that to make sure that your image will be aligned completely to the edge of the page when printed. Now, what not to do is go and create a rectangle and then forget about this red line and just do it like over here by eye. And then place the image. And you can see that it's not aligned to the red line. So if you do this, when you're actually going to print it and the printers are going to trim it, the image will not go to the edge of the page. It will be not great. So always remember to align your graphics to the red line if you want it to be aligned to the edge of the page when printing. So yeah, that was number 4. Forgetting to use the bleed line, forgetting to align the images to the bleed line for printing. And now last but not least is something that I did a lot when I first learned InDesign. It was such a nightmare and it caused me such a headache because I didn't understand why my images kept being blurred or pixelated, and I couldn't understand why I couldn't find my images, and it was all a mess. So that is that I moved my images from my desktop or drive, meaning basically every image that is placed inside an InDesign file, like these ones, they will have a little link icon here. And that's because these images are linked to the original image wherever it is. And my original image is actually on my desktop in this folder, which is for my InDesign course in French. So these images on my desktop are linked to my InDesign file, which is all great and fine until the moment I decide, oh, Maybe I don't need these images anymore, or I can move them around, no biggie. So what I used to do is move them around and cause a lot of problems. So let me show you. So let's say I'm moving things around. I'm showing you what not to do, by the way. Selecting images, popping them somewhere else, boom. Then I go back to my InDesign file and whoa, there's a lot of red, scary question marks, which is a big, big, big no-no. You do not want this, trust me. The moment you export this file now, it will actually have really blurred images because the links are missing now. The original image is missing, which means that all you can see right now is a little preview of that image, which is not enough for its full quality, which means that your images will be blurred or pixelated. So don't move things around. And I do have a solution for this called packaging, which I teach in my Adobe InDesign beginners course. The link is below if you're interested. And I show you how to solve this problem once and for all, and it's helped me, and I actually use it for other softwares as well. So I use the same principle, the same technique for Adobe Premiere Pro, so it works for videos as well. And it just saves me time forever, and it avoids missing links and blurred images, and my images will always be nicely saved in a folder. So yeah, that was pretty much it for the 5 big mistakes that I made when I first learned Adobe InDesign. Okay, so if you like this tutorial and you would like to learn some more Adobe tips and tricks, I teach a complete Adobe InDesign beginners course in a very structured way. And you get to play along with some exercises, and you get free shortcuts and much more. So check it out, the link is below, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for some more Adobe tips and tricks. See you soon.